can't get stuck in it.
No.
You can't, you know, you can't let it take over.
Yeah.
You just have to get it out. She sat on the phone for a good 30 minutes just crying. Yeah. You know how bad that hurt me not being able to go to her?
I imagine.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be part 4 of the Hidden Homelessness in America docu-series, interview series, whatever you want to call it, here in Mississippi. This is going to be the final part of Cricket's interview, and I'm just going to let her ride out this 40 minutes and share. There will be some touchy subjects from traumas to addictions, so I just want to warn viewers of that. Be kind in the comments, as she was kind enough to share her time and share her story with all of us. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it.
Was this older black lady, and she told him one day, she said, we're going to call him Petey. She said, okay, Petey. He said, what? She said, do you know what wisdom is? He said, and he didn't say nothing, and she said, wisdom doesn't come with age, baby. It comes with much suffering. And he said 30-something years later, it hit him like a ton of bricks. That what she meant, you know. Wisdom, it's not earned by age, it's earned by suffering. If you've suffered, then you're wise to it. You're wise to be aware of it. You know, you're more open to the possibilities of what could happen.
I like that. I'm gonna hold on to that.
Well, for real. I mean, she was right.
She told him, he told you, now you told me. That's some shit.
Hopefully, there's some other people here.
Yeah, that's what human interaction is about.
And a lot of people are so stuck on this social media stuff
sharing
that
bullshit.
They're worried about somebody that's 50,000 miles away when they need to be worried about the person that's right in front of them.
Right over
If you were helping the people here in front of you, then you wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? They probably wouldn't be so much homelessness. There probably wouldn't be so much people being lonely.
Yeah.
And they
loneliness is what is causing all this shit.
Yeah, people feel like they're by themselves, and because they're online, and they are by themselves.
Yeah.
Pick your head up out of your phone and see that you're not alone.
Yeah.
Tell somebody what's going on with you, and you never know. There might be somebody around you that feels the same way that can help you get through that.
And y'all can help each other.
Yes.
You know what is what we did as white people when we came to this land? We took Native Americans.
We took everything.
Native Americans lived communally in little huts. Yeah. They grew crops. But they didn't tear down the land to make this shit. They stayed in their little huts, but they
moved with the
seasons, with the land, and that's how we should be living as humans. But what we did as white people is we ruined the. I'm saying white people because that is. I'm not trying to throw race in it, but that's what it is. Yeah. Like we ruined Native Americans.
I told you I don't hang out with white people, didn't I? Okay. Well, I don't see that they're bad.
Well,
people.
I mean, nowadays we're not the same. Like we're not the same people who did that 300 years ago. But it's our ancestors, and we're the descendants, and it's our job to set things right. In my opinion.
Is bliss.
Yes. That's what social media is doing to people. It's creating ignorance. And they're blissful in their rooms, scrolling, blah, blah, blah. But if you look up, like you said, they're alone. They're sad. A lot of depression is running around.
Yeah, they do have to look up. They have every problem that they had before they looked at that phone is still there.
It's still there.
So when you're alone,
it's the same with drugs.
My daughter, she's real big on her cell phone. She's all into her stuff like that. If she didn't have the family support that she's got from my family, then she would probably have hurt herself really bad. She tried to commit suicide before her fiance got killed in that wreck. Yeah, and I was terrified that me being away from her and not being able to get to her would cause her to be overlooked, and she actually hurt herself for real. But I wouldn't be able to survive that.
So she's staying with your mom right now?
Yeah, she lives with my mom and my brother, but you know, my mama's the one that she's with. I didn't lose custody over nothing like that. No. When I moved to Colorado to go on my sabbatical or whatever it was, I let her move with my mom because I didn't want her to be unstable and not I'm way off. I don't want her to be up there with me and not know what could happen. And I didn't want to take the chance on her getting snatched either. I'm terrified of that. Yeah. But I was terrified that she wasn't going to get the love and support that she needed because I wasn't there, and she was going to actually really do something to herself. Yeah. But she struggles with depression, and she struggles with loneliness, and she struggles with all kind of things. And the cell phones are good, and it occupies you for the moment. But what's going to happen when she wakes up in the middle of the night and she's alone? Yeah. And then she called me, just like I told my mama it would happen. It happened. She called me and she said, "Mama," and she was crying. I said, "It's setting in. He's gone, huh?" She's bawling. Yeah. I said, "It's okay, baby." Yeah. I said, I know. I said, "It's gonna hurt." I said, "But you just gotta feel it. You gotta you can't get stuck in it.
No.
You can't, you know, you can't let it take over.
Yeah.
You just have to get it out. She sat on the phone for a good 30 minutes just crying.
Yeah.
And you know how bad that hurt me not being able to go to her?
I imagine. When was the last time you were able to see her, if you don't mind me asking?
I've only seen her a handful of times in the past 2 years.
Really?
And it's so painful because she's the reason why I get up every morning.
Yeah.
She's the reason why I'm a good person. She's the reason why I breathe and not go be that person I was before I had her. Because before I had her, I was a selfish woman, okay? A very, very selfish, vain woman. And I didn't care about anything, not even my mama, not myself, nothing. And I thought everybody owed me something. And that was just because because I was so angry and I had all this anger in me. And I don't even know why I was angry. I woke up that way.
Yeah.
I woke up angry, I went to bed angry, everything was just anger. And when I went to Colorado, I was dead set on going to fix my marriage and finding who I was and talking to God. I grew back into talking to Jesus a lot, you know, which I was when I was younger. Like I talk to him like I'm talking to you right now.
Yeah.
People think I'm crazy now these days because they'll see me talking to myself, but I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to God.
Yeah.
And people they don't look at that. They don't say, oh, well, that's just a spiritual woman. She's praying or she's, you know, because that's really what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just talking to him. Other than I don't sit in a pew with my hands crossed and, you know, nothing like that.
Yeah.
I'm talking to him every day, all day, and that's how it should be. I mean, me as a woman, as a Pentecostal woman, I pray all day, every day about everything that I do. I wake up in the morning times and I'm thank you, Lord, for everything you're going to do for me today. You know, I claim my blessings, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what you have to do. You have to tell him to open your mind to the things that needs to be open to for your eyes to see what you normally couldn't, to you to be understanding, for you to be strong, for you to be, you know, all that stuff that you're supposed to be. And I do. It's called the prayer of armor. And it prepares me for the day, for all the stuff that I'm going to be able to handle, you know, and that I can't handle, and he's going to do it for me. I don't have to worry about it because God's going to lay it out for me, and I just have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have plans when I wake up there in the day or a goal for that day because I'm not going to do what I want to do. I'm going to do what he wants me to do. You know, that's the way it's going to be anyway. I shouldn't fight it no more.
Yeah.
But that was my goal on going to Colorado, and the moment I hit the mountains, my anger went away.
Really?
Like, really. I came back to Mississippi and it got a tad bit, more than what it was. But in Colorado, they called me Wonder Woman up there. And my hair was a lot shorter and I was a lot nicer dressed and, I looked like Wonder Woman. I even had a bracelet. I didn't realize it, but it was of an eagle. And, it looked like Wonder Woman, and I was like, what the hell do you keep calling me that for? Yeah. And that's that guy I was telling you about, that one that was, looking out for me. Yeah. And he said, come here, Wonder Woman. I said, what the hell do you keep calling me that shit for? I said, what the fuck I look like? Wonder Woman? Yeah. He said, yeah. He said, I said, why are you calling me that? He said, because you go around trying to save everybody every day, and you always got this badass smile on your face. I said, what?
There you go.
Yeah. And
that's a compliment,
Yeah. Well, see, I thought it was an insult for a minute,
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. What the hell you calling me Wonder Woman for?
Yeah.
I said, I'm not a superhero. Shit.
Yeah.
I'm me.
Yeah.
I'm struggling just like you are. I'm right here with you.
Yeah.
He said, no. He said, but you try to help everybody every day. He said, even people you know is, bad and, ain't worth it. I was like, you don't think they're worth it, not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're worth it. I said, you're worth it. I'm your friend.
Yeah.
I said, so is everybody else. I said, you just got to see what I see. And beauty is something that people look at and they think that you have to be picture perfect, the supermodel, runway ready,
Yeah.
No. I'm beautiful.
Yes.
Okay? I'm beautiful because I am what you see is what you get.
Because you are you.
And beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
You see what you want to.
Yeah.
Okay? If I want that to be awesome and amazing, it's going to be awesome and amazing. If I want that to be ugly and just hideous, it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's all about what you make it.
Yeah.
What you see is what you get.
Everyone's beautiful. They just need to put themselves out there.
I love black women. Like, not saying this sexually, but I think they are beautiful women. Okay, and I've always wanted to be like a black woman.
Yeah.
You see, I'm a black man, and I've always loved black people. Well, the thing about that is back to the suffering thing. Black women have suffered for many, many years.
Yeah.
Okay, they are some of the strongest women that I know.
Yeah.
And they are strong in what they believe in, and and you can see it in everything that they do sometimes. If you just watch, and they are some badass fucking women. You know what I'm saying? And I love them. They're beautiful, and they're very, how do you say it? They have a lot of confidence. In who they
Charisma.
are, whether they're big and beautiful or skinny and perfect. You know. And they're just strong. I don't know how to explain it. Their stance and their everyday, mom job, everything they do, they try to be the best at it. And most of the time they are. And they can cook so good.
That's a plus right there.
Yes, and I love food.
Oh, me
food
too.
is one of my number one go-to things when I'm not out here on the streets. If you look up my profile on Facebook, you'll see that I was a little bit thicker woman than I am now. I wasn't ugly, but I was a thick woman because I love
cooking.
Food.
Yeah. What's your favorite dish to cook?
My favorite dish?
Yeah.
Man, it's a homemade soup.
Soup?
Homemade soup. My daddy and them are from New Orleans, and I'm from Slidell actually. My people originated from that area. Picayune, Carrier, Slidell. That's what I said in between kind of.
So is it like a Cajun-y soup?
It's a, you know what honky soup is?
Honky?
Honky soup, that might be. Okay, my daddy's side of the family have honky soup. Okay, it's more of a poor man's soup is what you call it. It's from Cajun side, from the Creole, New Orleans side. My mama's side is called, she just calls it homemade soup. It's more of a tomato-based, more white people food. You know? But my mom and them, they come from Louisiana too, but they weren't raised in Louisiana. They moved all over the state. She moved around a lot. But my papa's is more cabbage and broth. My mama's is more tomato and whatever. So I put them together. And I'm telling you, it's heavenly.
Some good shit.
And yes, my mama, she'll call me even to this day and be like, I want you to come cook me some soup. What? She's like, yeah, I miss your soup.
Does your mom drive?
She does, but she works all the time. She has brain tumors and aneurysm and all that stuff. She's a very sickly person, but she also takes care of 2 homes. Not financially, but sometimes too. But she's got so much going on. I can't add no more problems to her, and I don't bother her very much because, it hurts her to see me like I am. She can't help me. She don't know how to help me. And she struggles, and I'm her baby. Like my sister and my brother used to get mad because they used to call me the prodigal child. That was because when she was sick, having a headache, she drove all the way from Mount Olive one time, puking, throwing up. She couldn't even remember how she got to my house. Okay, it was so bad. And she was in my bed when she woke me up crying. And I was like, how did you get in my house, Mama? Where did you come from? It's the middle of the night. She said, please, Jen, just rub my head. It's hurting so bad. And I'd rubbed her head, and I took care of her. My daddy was very mean and on the pills and abusive, and my brother and my sister were always gone. They had aunts and uncles they was with, and I was always with my mama. So I got to see the beatings and all that stuff. Well, when I was 13, I had to fight my daddy off my mama with a baseball bat. And I fought my daddy I've been fighting men since I was 13. That's why women don't come at me crazy, because they know they're gonna have their hands full. And they go, I'm gonna have to put some effort into her. Yeah, you going to, because I'm gonna whoop your ass.
I had a stepdad who put his hands on my mom, and I put my hands on him. And my mom ended up kicking me out, but
That's because she was
lost in love.
That's what I was going to say. Mothers never intend to hurt their kids.
No, I don't think so either.
She loves you more than anything she can think of.
I agree.
When it comes to women and their spouses, their significant others, it's crazy.
It can get complicated.
Yes, very much so. Not only that, is if you're a religious woman, is she religious?
No, no. We went to church sometimes growing up, but
she kind of was. She had morals. She had a foundation, in other words. Even though they weren't, all the time, she did have something that she believed in. And
her and him did pills together too, so there was probably part of that codependency on that, and then
as a woman, a woman's place is to have a husband, and for a woman, you're supposed to make sure your husband's needs are met. You're supposed to be, wifely. If you had a wife that was easily took it away just because of an argument that you're having, or say in other words, you and your girl, if y'all were ever married or something like that, would you want her to be coached away by somebody else that didn't think that you were best for her?
No.
Okay, well, see, that's what I'm saying. That she would have to be very loyal to you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very loyal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that loyalty isn't easily broken.
No.
It isn't easily, misguided.
Yeah, even by your kid and even a moment like that. So I could see it.
If you were troubled and she didn't see that she was the reason why you were troubled, or he was the reason why you were troubled, then she didn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She had a problem that she wasn't want to admit to herself about. And with her not admitting that, she didn't see her fault in it, she seen yours.
Yeah.
So yes, I would see how she kicked you out, but not because, she didn't.
Yeah, no, we're past it now at this point. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know because me and my daughter, we got into it one time, and my mama, if I ever put my hands on my mama, if I seen my mama and my sister throw down, like
really?
fist.
Yeah.
And I seen her beat the shit out of my sister, like she was a woman.
Yeah.
And I've always respected my mama and love my mama that way. I would never ever raise my hand to her. I've let her beat me numerous times, grown, as a grown woman, and he never raised my hand to her. She broke her fingernail off of my head one time.
Damn.
So yeah, and me holding my kid, and I never raised my hand to her.
Yeah.
And I won't never.
There you go.
But I took that as in, if you put your hands on me as a child, if you're a child and you put your hands on me, I'm gonna beat you like you're a grown woman if you get to that age.
Yeah.
Well, she reached that age. She come at me with a pipe one time, and I put it to her like she was a grown woman.
Yeah.
She was old enough, I didn't hurt her.
Yeah.
But she knew not to put her hands on me anymore. Put her in her place as a child, and it happens.
Yeah.
But you have to just. I regret it. The way I handled it, I could have did it a lot better. That wasn't me. I would have never put my hands on her.
Hindsight's 20/20 though.
Yeah, but I would have handled it differently, and she knows that, and I know that. My daughter, because I've never put my hands on my daughter. I've whooped her a couple times, but not as in,
where it's like a beating.
Yeah, and I regret it to this day. Like, it eats at me, and I tell her all the time, "I'm sorry, baby."
Yeah, no.
And she'll tell me, "I know, Mama," and she'll love on me.
Another about women out here, do they have a place like where you can get like essential needs that you need as a woman? Like,
you can go to Changes and they'll give you tampons.
Okay.
But every time I go up there, they're supposed to give you food baskets every month or something like that. But like I said, I've never been told when to come up there and get food baskets and stuff like that. They're supposed to give out tents. I've never gotten a tent, and they know that I've needed one. I've asked the field house numerous times, even before it got cold this past time, that I've needed a tent. She told me she was going to get me one, and she did not.
Who? What was her name? Bethany?
No, not Bethany. No. She's not nothing to do with this. This is the field house. And Changes has not got nothing to do with Bethany neither. She's got her own office somewhere. I'm sure if I called Bethany,
she could get you a tent.
Yeah, and she would have helped me, but I have a hard time keeping a phone or being able to get in touch with anybody because people steal my shit all the time.
Yeah.
If they don't steal my phone, they steal my SIM card.
You able to call from his phone?
Yeah, but he's very funny about his shit. He don't let nobody touch his stuff. That's the only reason why he's got it. But, he's very funny about his stuff.
No, that's cool.
I've only rode his bike maybe twice.
Yeah.
I
get it. Being out here, you gotta.
Yeah, but they steal left and right from each other when they need to be helping each other.
If there was three things that say that there was Hattiesburg City or a government or a church group said, hey, tomorrow there's going to be new resources that we set up. It's only like, not saying that only three that they could do, but three main things that you could have.
If I had a stable place to live, okay, privacy is #1 key to a homeless person.
Yeah.
Because we're isolated ourselves to the fact that, like I told you earlier, I've been on the streets for 5 years. I was up there for 1.5 years in Colorado, okay, and then I've been down here for almost 3.5 years. Okay?
Yeah.
I've been homeless for 5 years, so I've not been around people in regular world society in a long time. 10 years, after 10 years, statistics say that you'll be homeless for the rest of your life.
Really?
Yeah, after 10 years, if you're still homeless, you're going to be that way forever. Till the day you die. Or, on and off to the day, you die.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll have houses, but if I don't have the right setup and are able to be processed back into the society the right way, I'm going to end up being back out here all over again, and this is going to be an ongoing thing.
So privacy is one?
If you do it the right way the first time, my mama always told me, if you do it right the first time, you don't have to go back and do it again and waste time doing it over, okay? If you're isolated yourself to out here, like you see me, you don't see anybody else around. I'm like that all the time. I don't hang out with people no more because I had some crazy stuff happen to me a while back, about a year ago.
Yeah.
And right after he went to prison.
Yeah.
And I'm not around people like that anymore.
Yeah.
Like I stay to myself. Now, I do socially, interact with other people, but that's just to get what I need.
Yeah.
And then I come right back here and I'm alone again.
Chill out by yourself. Yeah.
Yes, I don't hang out. I don't go party. I don't throw down. I have all these raves like everybody thinks we do. We don't. No. I don't. Okay. Privacy, housing. If I had a stable house to live and I don't have to be worried about a whole house full of girls and I'm not worried about what they, the drama that goes on with it. If I had stability of my own where I could get myself together and not have to worry about other people's issues, then I would have no problem getting back on my feet.
Yeah.
I don't see the reason why I would have a problem. Okay? That's my needs though. That's not saying it would be his needs or somebody else's needs.
Everyone
what I'm
has...
saying? Everybody's is different. But a stable place, keep me out of the streets at nighttime, less likely to have to, do crazy stuff, just to get food. It's easier to keep food if you have a place to put it.
Yeah.
It's easier to keep refrigerated stuff, meats, all that stuff. Like a lot of the times I can't go buy meats.
What time your phone got your mom ass?
What's that?
What time you got your mom ass?
Oh,
yeah.
It's 3:44.
Oh, can he use your phone real fast to call in for roll off?
Yeah.
That's the drug court. I'm sorry. But yeah, he wouldn't.
What's the number on it?
Oh, 601.
Staying out of the elements for one. I wouldn't have to go worry about where I'm going to be putting my head or worried about being warm and stuff, because that's my biggest concern right now, staying warm.
Yeah.
My mama said it's going to be super cold.
Tuesday?
It is Tuesday, yeah.
Okay.
It's Tuesday.
No testing today. Woo.
Yeah, I was on probation for 2 years.
He's on drug court.
Oh, really?
No, you must run get cut. My charger go at night.
I'm sorry. Mine's in there. It's okay. Shoot, hit me back.
Open that tear the whole room.
I told you he's funny by his stuff. That's what you was looking for? I knew you was looking for something.
No, I wasn't looking for that. No, I'm getting all the wet clothes out of there.
You was looking for that.
Definitely bad. I'm throwing all the wet clothes away. Nah, let me get to work.
Let you get to work. Give me a cigarette. Stop. Give me this damn cigarette.
Do you think that if they set up some kind of program out here where they...
I would like to be over it if possible, because I'm a very good, I'm a leader, I like to help people. I'm good at stuff like that. I have the mindset for something like this, and I have the want to help people.
Yeah. I was thinking, and I was talking with my fiance about
get it started,
Well, if you go to like a national park or whatever, they'll have like trash cans out in the forest that they somehow, some people are coming to dump that. I think if they know there's a camp here, they're not oblivious to it. So if they put a trash here that they came once a week or once every 2 weeks, that would help keep trash out.
Yeah, that would be a part of what I was talking about too, a designated area for the homeless people to come and be able to live and not have to be dependent on the city so much. And they won't end up with stuff like this. And you know what I'm saying?
Maybe even like a laundry service that came.
That's what I was saying.
That would be good.
If we had an area in town, or even set up out here to where we can wash our clothes. And like the bucket, like I was talking about, I'm homeless. I know I don't have electricity. I'm not going to be having a washer and dryer, of course. But if there was access to water here easily with tubs like this, or a way that I could hand wash my clothes to hang out and dry, I don't mind doing it the old-fashioned way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As long as I have access that I need to the water that I need.
Yeah.
We don't have access to water out here.
Yeah.
We got a water hose at the church down there, but then they put locks on everything. Everybody's trying to keep the homeless people away, when in other words, instead of keeping us away, you need to help us stay away.
Yes. Speaking of keeping the homeless away, I've noticed since living here, on that side of Hattiesburg,
they don't want you nowhere over there. On 98, you will get arrested for even asking for help. For panhandling is what they call it.
Yeah.
Holding a flying sign.
That's what I've noticed is they push all the homeless people on this side
in
of
the gutters. You should see down there by the field house. There's a road that you go to right before you get to the field house. The road to the left right there. Take that road. If you go straight, you'll see some apartments over there. In the woods right here on the right, there's a whole village full of homeless people.
Really?
But see, I'm isolated to myself, so I don't really associate like that.
Yeah.
I know people over there, but I don't.
Probably a lot more crime and stealing and stuff.
Yes, there's a lot more drama and bullshit, and I don't deal with all that.
So it's like they're kind of like trying to hide the homeless problem versus trying to help the homeless problem.
There's a place called the Brickyard on the downtown area.
Yeah.
People are down there, and it's swampy and nasty. You go by the field house, nasty and swampy. They're trying to make us miserable, okay? Instead of helping us get off the streets, they're making us miserable, so we end up either in the ditch or go insane and end up in Pine Grove.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't want to help us have the means to help ourselves.
If they put all the resources that they're doing to move y'all and hide the problem from that side of Hattiesburg.
That's because that's the rich people's side.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. They're trying to make it all. They're putting a blanket over it instead of fixing the problem.
They're hiding it.
I want to do some more research into that and look at because. They also, I was reading on this.
It's not their jobs. I mean,
no, but it is the city's job because if you look,
they get resources for stuff like this. But what I'm saying is, the people on 98 that are trying not to be open and see all this stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe they have children that maybe for whatever reason they don't want to see it. Okay, and that's understandable. But it's not their jobs to. They're not. God didn't say, okay, you have to do this.
No.
He says that if you do unto others. It's like doing unto
actually,
me.
you know what God did say in Exodus chapter 22? He says.
Oh, look at that! Look at that shit!
Yeah, he says, from your first harvest, anything that you drop in the fields, leave for the needy and for the.
I just wanted to interject real quick. I got the verses wrong. It was actually Leviticus, and then Exodus was this verse right here, which I also think is very useful.
So I mean, obviously
they're
when
not
we're all
dropping
harvesting, they're not dropping nothing.
They don't want
they're pushing it to the side and covering it up. So and then they're
not
hiding
even that.
behind.
That stuff that they drop from their table or breadcrumbs. Okay, God said leave it for the homeless and the needy. Okay, if they're scraping it up and using it for something else that they can gain from it, then that's not covering it up. That's just being stingy. Being selfish. Okay, they're more worried about what they could get off of that. What could they profit from that? Other than, okay, well, I see this person in need. Let me go ahead and help her out with this right here. Or I got this extra car that I don't need anymore. It's a piece of crap. I'm going to get rid of it anyway. Why don't I just help this woman out that I know needs a vehicle that help her get a job, that help her stay off the streets? Because I'm a home health assistant. Okay, I'm not. I'm an assistant, not a nurse. Okay, but I can sit with the elderly, and that's what I did for a living before I came here, and before I went to Colorado, and I made $25 an hour.
Damn, that's some good shit.
Good money, okay, but and I'm a good woman. I'm trustworthy with people, and people love me, and older people love me. So it's a great job for me to have. Can't do that because I don't have transportation to get back and forth to the work. I clean houses for a living for the lady that owns the Cycle Shack in Picayune. She is one of the richest women around there. Okay, my mama's cleaned her house and I've cleaned her house for the past 10 years. Can't get back and forth to that job. That's $250 right there every Friday. Can't do it because I can't get back and forth.
Is there any kind of services that? Because in Texas we had this service called Cars for Kids. It wasn't just for kids; it was also for needy people. And you could donate your car and then they'd give it to a.
I don't know. I haven't really even looked into it, but you could find out for me. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
They got the GoFundMe accounts, but a lot of people use it for stuff that's stupid and that's fake, and I can see how people wouldn't want to help people.
I understand that too.
But somebody like me that would need the help can't benefit off of stuff like that because of people using it that don't need it. Okay, like the homeless, houseless people that you were talking about. Okay, they got homes, but yet they're getting resources for the people that don't have homes. Okay, why should you get the resources for somebody that's homeless if you're not homeless?
I agree.
That's the case. I mean, there's nowhere near as many homeless people as you think there are here in Hattiesburg.
That's what someone was telling me.
But
is that it's mainly housed homeless people that are using the resources as well. I'm
homeless. You come out here in the middle of the night, I'm gonna be here. If I'm not here, that's because somebody's started trouble for me here, and I've moved somewhere else. If I had a designated area, it would be easier for me to be all right and be stable. You know what I'm saying? Stability for somebody with schizophrenia is necessary because I don't like change. I have to have a routine, and I can't get a routine being homeless. So how the hell am I ever going to get stable? You know what I'm saying? If I'm not stable, then I can't get back on my feet, can't get level-headed enough to, be okay. Well, if I can't do that, how the hell am I going to get anywhere? It's just an endless circle of bullshit. So I'm hoping that now that you've come across me and Mr. Bill, and I have people that's going to, be aware of the situation that I'm in, that we can actually get somewhere so I can get all right, and that I can get people to look, this is what the deal is, and this is what we can do, and this is what my ideas are. And like you said, I've always wanted to do something like this. That's the reason why I went to Colorado in the first place.
Well, with that $1.1 billion that they got to help homeless people, they could help start up. You could be a leader of some group, and they could pay you a wage that feeds you, houses you, and gives you something, or gives you the resources
to help other people. That'll help other people and get other people jobs, homeless people jobs. You know what I'm saying? you're right. And then hopefully, like I said, with you and Mr. Bill and other people that's aware of my situation and that know that I'm a decent-minded woman that can do something like that, it'll be possible.
Yeah.
But it only takes one person.
So you're saying the Changes places right there.
They're fixing to close. Yep.
They're fixing to close, and they gave people jobs.
No, they help them find jobs.
They help. That's what I meant.
They
they help them find jobs.
And they do housings, and they help you with stuff like tampons and stuff like that for women. But they don't. They was supposed to shower.
Is that right across from Sherwin-Williams on Broadway?
It's on maybe West Pine.
West Pine. Okay.
Yeah, 1410 West Pine Street.
Okay.
That's we get our mail there. We're not gonna be able to do that anymore. Let's get the shit to the field house. The field house, they let people steal your shit, go through your stuff, and it's not a good place. Okay.
Damn.
And they also had lockers for people who were homeless. You get a locker and you can keep it like a suitcase or something there. The field house is all men, no women. Just for after a certain time, women have to leave. It doesn't matter if it rains, sleet, or snow. If it's not under a certain degree, you're not going to be able to stay there.
That's weird because you figured, like, I'm not saying that men and women aren't equal, but I'm saying, like, you figure you want to house your women and children before.
It's a halfway house for men.
Yeah, you figured you want to house your women and children before
They
men.
really don't have children out here on the streets. I hope they
That's
wouldn't
good.
be.
Yeah.
I have known for one person to have 2 boys out here, but we protected her pretty much from DHS and stuff like that, so they wouldn't be aware that they were, on the streets.
I saw
and
this.
she was taken care of very well. Like everybody took care of her.
At the Walmart parking lot one day, I saw this Muslim woman with the little girl there. I don't know if she was homeless or because I've also seen on YouTube there's people that'll drop off women at corners.
That's what I'm saying.
And make some money, and then they'll go pick them up at the end of the day. And like sometimes they'll be driving like nice cars and shit.
That's what I'm saying. And people are benefiting from being homeless, and they're not homeless.
Yeah,
but I can't get by. I've never gotten $1.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a lady offered me $1 the other day, but I felt like it was an insult more than it was anything.
Yeah.
So I told her, no, baby, I'm fine, thank you. And I was polite, and I, kept going.
Yeah.
But they have a way of torturing me down here like no other. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, people just like target me.
Yeah.
But God said that if it was easy, then everybody would do it.
Yeah.
So He didn't say that it was going to be a walk in the park to be righteous and good and kind and understanding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People persecuted God. They persecuted him.
Yeah.
Jesus, I mean, they persecuted
Jesus.
So what the hell?
Alive.
Who am I? They
Yeah.
want to do the same to me.
And I wish that, like I said, I only work a part-time, low-wage job. So
It only takes one.
I wish I could do more, but that's my hope is to share this stuff and it'll get around. And maybe people will get in up the government's faces and be like, where's that 1.1 billion fucking dollars? Like, what are y'all doing?
Some people will. There'll be an ongoing battle back and forth with each other, and it's gonna be hard. And it's like I said, I see it. You're gonna make a difference. But you just have to stay strong in it. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody. You're gonna go through some hardest times. If this is your fight, this is what you want to do. You have to get it in your mind right now. This is what you want. This is what you're gonna do, and you're not gonna let people. No matter what they do, you're still gonna fight for it.
Yes.
This is your belief.
Yes.
So believe it.
Yes.
With all your heart, just fight for it. Don't let people discourage you. Don't change your mind later on down the road and flip-flop, because that's not believing in something. That's if you don't believe in something, you believe in nothing. You don't stand for something, you stand for nothing. In other words.
Amen.
So if you found what you want to do it.
And that's what pisses me off about today's generation. A lot of them be like, I got my video games, I'm good.
No, they stand for stuff that a lot of them are led to these people that stand for something that stands for nothing. They fighting for something that they don't even know what the meaning of it is.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like gangs, in other words. Not saying not specific ones. I'm not pointing at anything. Yeah. But that's why they go to gangs, because they want to stand for something.
Yeah.
They want to believe in something. But they're not.
I've actually watched some documentaries on gangs, and like a lot of it's actually because some people don't have families, so that's their brotherhood.
Yeah, they don't have
so
anything.
I can empathize
so they want to believe in something. They want to
But nowadays, people think they're doing something if they change their profile picture on Facebook. Look, I'm support boy. Get off your ass and go out there and help people.
Yeah, but a lot of people aren't. I'm gonna say one more thing that somebody else told me. People aren't gonna treat you how you treat other people. Okay, they're not gonna do that. They're not going to be as good-hearted as you are. They're not going to want. They don't have that want to help people like you do.
Yeah.
Okay. God gave everybody gifts. Okay. some people could tap into them and some people can't.
Yeah.
Like some people could see what's going to happen before it happens, and a lot of people are like, oh, you're saying you're psychic? No, it's not a psychic. God just opened his eyes to what's going to happen ahead of time, like playing chess.
Yeah.
You understand? Okay. That is possible. Like me, I have dreams.
Like intuition, really.
Yes,
yeah.
intuition. That is too. I have a good one of those too. But I have dreams of things sometimes, and that could be a possibility of happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but it could happen.
Or it could be some kind of message or something.
Yeah, or a warning or something like that. And you got to know how to interpret it and just pray about it. And the key to every person is talking to God. Pray about everything before you do it. If you're not sure about something, ask him to guide you through it. Okay, God, how do I need to handle this situation? Help me get through this, Lord, because you know I'm not sure what to do. Help me understand so I'll know.
Yeah.
Give the wisdom, the understanding, you know.
The grace.
Yes.
Yeah.
The good heart, all that stuff. Every day when you get up, even if you're not praying to one specific person, because you know you're spiritual,
yeah.
then just whoever, just
that energy.
Yes, just every day, right when you get up now, make sure you pray or whatever you need to do, meditate and get your mind right for the day and set up for you to have a good day. And when something bad happens, don't let it ruin your whole day.
Yeah.
Don't go straight to the negativity and go straight to the, no. Get up, take a break, push forward and say, okay, that's not going to knock me down. I got this. I do that all the time. Like, you have no idea. You got this. Come on. I was telling you, come on, I'm pushing myself. You got this. I'm not a woman that gives up.
Good.
I am not. I will never commit suicide because I do not believe in giving up.
Amen. That's good.
And I don't want to go to hell, but you know, I'm not a quitter. I've failed in a lot of things in life, but not because I quit, but because I just simply wasn't meant for me to do.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. So just keep pushing, keep an open mind, and be understanding that the fact that it's going to happen the way he wants it to, not the way you want it to. So just go with the flow. But I appreciate you coming down and doing this.
Look,
and
if I put that right or wherever you think is a good spot that it won't, because if you put it in front, it might get in trouble, right?
yeah, we don't want to,
So
there'll be
I guess
sense
if you put it like right here behind this tree or behind that or whatever.
Yeah, we're going to clean it out a little bit. We'll probably sit it in that open area because I think this is where we're going to build the platform for the first platform.
Okay, perfect. And I can come grab that if y'all don't mind me.
No,
I'll just come up here and grab it.
You can come in and out anytime you want to.
Cool.
This is not my property. This is for, I'm going to make it for homeless people. But I want to get it done before people just start coming in and trying to live in it again and trying to use it again. You know what I'm saying? I really want to make this work, and I want to present it to somebody that can actually help me get something done to help people. If we had a way of living without having to depend on the city so much.
You can dig like a big hole right here and make a proper
burn
fire
pit. That's what I was thinking. An open kitchen area where we could cook and not have to worry about, being a nasty mess and actually proper cooking, because you can have a meal instead of a damn. I eat from Popeyes every night. I don't know. Don't air this because it's embarrassing, kind of. Or if you do, it's fine. Just make sure you air the whole thing and not just bits and pieces.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Popeyes gives out food every night. The one on is kind of she's kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
She'll put it in the garbage can and you'll have to go get it out. But they'll make sure that they put it in another garbage bag before they put it in the garbage bag. Yeah. So, but it still looks like we're digging in the garbage, getting food out. But the one on doesn't. It'll bring a bag out with boxes and stuff in it, and it looks, better than
proper.
Yeah. But they're kind of buttholes right here at this one. But the one on which is too far for us to go, is the best one to go to. But they will give you out food every night at closing, and pretty much that's what we survive off of, unless we get extra money to go splurge on food. Yeah. But we don't go get food boxes from anywhere because we don't have the means to store it without it going bad. Yeah. And it just ends up looking like this. Yeah. And so we just go to Popeyes every night and get, every night, meals. Yeah. Stability is having food that that's the one less thing I got to worry about. I don't have to worry about that. That's took care of for the day. Yeah. But bathing and having clean clothes, that's another thing I don't have to worry about for the day. Shelter, another thing I don't have to worry about for the day. So I'm able to focus on my problems to get me off the street. Right now, I'm fighting just to survive.
Get a meal, a proper meal.
To survive, pretty much. So, I mean, if we were able to just get by without having just to survive, then it would be easier for us to get off the street. Yeah. And we wouldn't have to worry so much about living and getting means to life, we'd have every right to have our brains worked on and get our mental health under control.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is mental health problems. People that are homeless, 90% of us have mental health problems. Some of them are drug induced, but they have mental health problems is why they're on the drugs.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
they need proper health care.
It's not even the health care. It's like I was telling you earlier. Me self-medicating myself helps me, okay?
Yeah.
But in this society, I'm a drug addict. So
yeah.
That's what they label me as, a drug addict. Baby, do I get in trouble with the law? Do I steal from people? Do I do bad stuff or hurt people or do anything? No, I don't. I have a drug, which they call it an addiction, but it's not.
Yeah.
Because he's seen me go 2 or 3 weeks without the shit.
Yeah.
And then one day I'll just go get some.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
Do you think you'd feel safer getting like an Adderall or Vyvanse versus like some meth that someone made though?
Yes.
Yeah, that's 100%. What I'm saying. If America had free health care, you'd be able to go do that.
I believed in that too, but Big Pharma's not gonna let that happen.
No, exactly.
But there's people out there that are stupid rich that can make it possible.
Yeah. You know what I do like is what's his damn name? The owner of the Mavericks. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Damn, what's his fucking name?
Listen.
What
the hell is that? An alarm.
What the fuck?
I was making sure I wasn't the only one hearing it.
No, I hear the shit.
That's weird though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see if there's some kind of warning on
That's probably just testing. It happens every now and then.
Oh shit, my fiance called me. She gets off work at 4. Oh shit.
Oh good, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Well, the camera died right there, but we were wrapping up everything and parting ways. I just want to say thank you to Cricket for giving us her time and sharing her story. That's not something that's easy to do. Next week we'll be back with an interview with Kim Townsend, the former homeless coordinator of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, the city that this is based in. And that'll probably be split up into 2 different videos, so 2 weeks, because we had about an hour and a half long interview with her. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like. We'll be back with content like this and also traveling content. Just, this is Kamryn Walks. It's Walk With Me, lifestyle videos, things that I'm going to be doing throughout my life. And I appreciate y'all for being here, checking it out. If you haven't already, leave a comment. Maybe say a kind word or two to Cricket if she comes across this video. I'm going to try to get it out there to her boyfriend, Tevin. He has a phone. She doesn't. But yeah, I thank y'all all for watching this video. And I hope that y'all all have a beautiful rest of your day. And I'll see y'all next week.